Hi, how you doing? This is Kim Reads Utrantia. Nice to see you. And today I got Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey, and then we're going to read Utrantia book, okay? So this is July 3rd by Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna lived in India from 1836 to 1886. I was thinking, well, he might have been a contemporary or influenced by Blavatsky. I'm interested in Blavatsky, and she may have been influenced by him as well. I'm not really sure, but I think they were related because I know she spent a great deal of time in India in her life. So that's a relationship that I want to learn more about. So that's on my list. So I don't have a lot to tell you at this point. Of course, you know Helena Blavatsky is probably the mother of New Age wisdom, of New Age movement, spirituality. So, but anyway, this is Ramakrishna. Okay. May I be taken, Mother, into your great light and see all beings' faces bright as stars, all places bright as they are wearing the full moon as a dress, and all the night's dark expanses vivid as the morning sun. May I know there is no death, no day or night, that life is eternally one, one, one. Okay, so here again, the divine feminine. Thank you. Okay, makes me glad to be a woman. Yep. And this is the full moon as a dress, and that's a great metaphor there. The night's dark expanses are as vivid, so we'll be able to see with the light of the great mother, maybe taken, Mother, into your great light. So when we are taken into this, the dark night's expanses will be as vivid as the morning sun. So we'll be able to see just as well in night as we can in the daytime. And I can see in that way there's no day or no night. Well, you know, there is this interplay, but I think what's referred to is that it won't make any difference to us whether it's day or night, because we'll be able to navigate the night as well as the day. When things are difficult, we'll be able to see the way clearly, the way through, and there will always be a way through. When we see other beings that are suffering, we'll know who we can help and who we can't, and where to go so that we can be of most use. We'll know our own path clearly, and that's why, you know, it won't make a difference. In this way here, it's kind of inverted, because here in this life, our physical work is during the day and our rest is at night. During the spiritual darkness, when we're spiritual beings, our work will be during the night, because we'll have to help those beings find their way out of darkness, and our rest will be during the day, when everything's cool, everything's all right, they all know what they're doing, they can see fine. So the spiritual light will be at rest, but we'll have our work in the night. Okay, so very wonderful. Okay, thank you Ramakrishna. Okay, let's read the Utrantia book here. The Over Control of Supremacy. This is section 7 of paper 10, the Paradise Trinity. Okay. The first, second, and third persons of deity are equal to each other, and they are one. The Lord our God is one God. There is perfection of purpose and oneness of execution in the divine trinity of eternal deities. The Father, the Son, and the conjoint actor are truly and divinely one. Of a truth it is written, I am the first, and I am the last, and beside me there is no God. Okay, so God has no peers except within the Trinity. I always think to myself, okay, but if God has to have peers, how yeah, what's bigger than God? What's bigger than God? But that's why we have this Trinity, because I don't know, they monitor each other, and they are peers of each other. It's like in our government, the checks and balances in the government. Okay, the three branches of government. Okay, so it's modeled after that spirit, that the spirit of the unity, and how they're all one together, of one purpose, of one here they call it an attitude of mercy and love and governance over all the realm. But they all check on each other too. They're peers of each other, in the way that they're persons, they're people, they have personality, but they always work and cooperate together. Yeah, and it's a perfect process. So we don't have this possibility of breakdown like here, when two branches of government gang up on the other one and make the other one not able to function. We don't have that kind of possibility, because this is all perfect, and the attention of all is perfect. There's no intention to capitalize on power playing and stuff. Okay, all right. As things appear to the mortal on the finite level, the Paradise Trinity, like the Supreme Being, is concerned only with the total planet, total universe, total super universe, total grand universe. This totality attitude exists because the Trinity is the total of deity, and for many other reasons. Okay, so this is the level, this is where our individuality is left behind, and we are associating with ourselves, with the entire, with everything. Just like God, when he joins the Trinity, when he's abandoning his individual well-being or his individual power for the good of the all, the Trinity of the three, and the good of all. He's concerned with the totality of everything at the Trinity level. So that's what God did when he escaped the fetters of perfection of his own power. Because being in power by yourself is lonely if you don't have anything to be powerful over. See, but that's what we're instructed to do, is sacrifice that part of myself that is only for myself, and be instead a cooperative being that's in favor of the goodness of everything. I feel that strongly. And but we're still individuals. We still experience everything individually. We still are, we are one of the people that we have to take care of. And if I don't do a good job taking care of myself, I won't be able to understand or see what's good for the total. I won't be effective in administering to the totality of everything. Okay, so it's important to say that this isn't I don't know, like communism and stuff like that. I'm always everybody's afraid of this mob thing, and there's this divine balance in that the individuality is totally respected and totally upheld. Personal sovereignty is vital, is important, you know, but then we sacrifice some of that to the good of the whole, and it all is balanced. It all works together. Okay, let's keep going on this. Yeah. The Supreme Being is something less and something other than the Trinity functioning in the finite universes. But within certain limits and during the present era of incomplete power personalization, this evolutionary deity does appear to reflect the attitude of the Trinity of supremacy. Okay, the Father, Son, and Spirit do not personally function with the Supreme Being, but during the present universe age, they collaborate with Him as the Trinity. Okay, that's a lot of fumbly mumbly. Okay, we understand that they sustain a similar relationship to the ultimate. We often conjecture as to what will be the personal relationship between the paradise deities and God the Supreme when He has finally evolved, but we do not really know. Okay, so the Supreme is sleeping. So currently, the Trinity projects perfection upon the Supreme Being, projects that supremacy upon it, and then we interact in here, and we use that because our experiences are manifest within the context of the Supreme. Okay, so we're waking up to our own divinity, working out all of our little mundane problems within the context of the divinity, and guided through that by the light of perfection of the Trinity. Okay, so we're figuring out how to do this thing, how to balance out the sacrifice and the embrace of perfection, and where the perfection, and commit ourselves to the welfare of the all, the unity of everything. Okay, we're all working out that balance within the context of the Supreme Being. Okay, and the Trinity is focalizing on that with the Supreme Being, but not manipulating the actions therefore. So the Supreme at this point is like a stage where we're acting this out. And when we come to the resolution of this play and all of these problems have been solved, then the Supreme Being wakes up and formulates the relationship between itself and divinity. And they're conjecturing what ultimate, right. So there's really two stages. There's the stages of our actual physical experiences and sensations, which is designated supremacy. And then there's also the ultimate stage, which is the actions of our thought forms, okay, and our intentions. Okay. So both of those stages are going on, and both interact with the perfection of the Trinity is like a light shining on them, or a compass trying to direct us in the correct course of our own divination, collectively. Okay, that's probably a hard thing here. Okay, so there's bridge, this stage that we're acting everything out on. All right. And when this, that's like a play. When it's completed, we'll know. We'll all feel everything is okay. There's nothing, everything is done. Everything is love. Everything is wonderful. There's no more illusions. Everything is here. That's light and life. Everything is great. Then the Supreme wakes up. When that happens around all the 7 universes, that Supreme wakes up. And because we'll probably be the last ones to wake up because we're the 7th one, right? But then that will be part of, I don't know, self-awareness network of dreams and experiences. Fascinating. Okay, I'm going to continue. We do not find the over-control of supremacy to be wholly predictable, right? Furthermore, this unpredictability appears to be characterized by a certain developmental incompleteness, undoubtedly an earmark of the incompleteness of the Supreme and of the incompleteness of the finite reaction to the Paradise Trinity. The mortal mind can immediately think of 1,001 things: catastrophic physical events, appalling accidents, horrific disasters, painful illnesses, and worldwide scourges, and ask whether such visitations are correlated in the unknown maneuvering of this probable functioning of the Supreme Being. Frankly, we do not know. We are not really sure, but we do observe that as time passes, all these difficult and more or less mysterious situations always, italics, always work out for the welfare and progress of the universes. It may be that the circumstances of existence and the inexplicable vicissitudes of living are all interwoven into a meaningful pattern of high value by the function of the Supreme and the over control of the Trinity, because these accidents or whatever, they embody lessons and plot points in this play that are necessarily addressed for us to achieve the next level of evolution. So when we address these issues and we come into further alignment and integration of our own collective will and intent to evolve into higher levels, those crisis points represent our opportunities to make those collective choices to do better. But we have to have an awareness of what those meanings and values are. Okay, so I see here in the West, collectively, we've made these very destructive choices toward top-down economic theory that is completely goes against the structure of everything. This caused so much, it's at the root of so much destruction. And yeah, because they've made so many choices for or in favor of short-term gratification valued over long-term growth and welfare of the whole of society, of the individual welfare versus the whole of society. The individual that we've lauded in the West, we've lauded individualism and short-term gratification. I want it now, 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 over the long term, and preserving our planet, and the model that that economic models that privilege the few over the many. That so those are things that's political. Sorry, those are me. I'm a leftist, I guess, primarily. If you don't like that, then I'm not sorry. But anyway, those are collective choices that we make in our value systems that have these effects of either retarding our progress, but then the universe gives us more and more lessons, more and more opportunities to do the right thing, to see the right way and go forward. But we make those choices together, and by electing officials that respond in ways, and so anyway, yeah, and there's hope. I want to emphasize too, I make all these gloom and doom predictions, but it's going to be hard, but it's a correction that needs to happen. We need to be corrected, and we've had so many chances to make good choices. Yeah. So, I'm not going to go into the rapture and the Antichrist and stuff like that. It's just this whole system is going to correct itself, and it will. It's going to happen. But it's what we need to be able to move forward. And we're talking about moving forward collectively, not individually. Because the Trinity here, what they're saying is it responds to the whole, and gives the entire planet or system or whatever it is, what it needs to advance to the next level of consciousness as a lesson. Okay. As a son of God, you can discern the personal attitude of love in all the acts of God the Father. But you will not always be able to understand how many of the universe acts of the Paradise Trinity redound to the good of the individual mortal on the evolutionary world of space. In the progress of eternity, the acts of the Trinity will be revealed as altogether meaningful and considerate, but they do not always so appear to the creatures of time. So all of these lessons, they're going to seem like, oh my gosh, we're damned, and you know what I mean, and we're horrible, and everything it's going to seem like, why does God do this to us and stuff like this. In the fullness of time, though, this is going to come out we'll realize that this is what we need. It's what we need. And it's going to seem cruel, but we have to keep that in mind, that this is nothing but a lesson that we need to learn. And folks, so that's my little take on the apocalypse and whatnot. Speaking of which, my son and I are, incidentally, we're watching Good Omens on Amazon Prime. Excellent, very funny, very wistful account of the apocalypse, how good isn't really good and bad isn't really bad, and or that how we traditionally perceive it. So these traditional perceptions are really being kind of made fun of, and it's really great. It's really and what comes through in Good Omens is choice. The Antichrist here is born, and fundamentally he makes the choice whether to be good or evil. I'm not going to tell you what, but so much depends. So much has depended, because he's meant to be evil, but everything depends on the individuals, the people around him, both the spiritual entities and the mortal beings around this person, and their choices influence his choices, and all these beings come together and are able to steer. Will they steer us toward the apocalypse or away from the apocalypse? And what needs to happen is going to happen. It happens because it needs to happen. Anyway, that's a great show. That's hilarious and great acting. And Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, both phenomenal creators. And yeah, it's really cool. So check that out if you're able to. All right, I'm going to see you next time. All right. Okay, bye.